Let's be funny.
Yeah, let's at the drop of a hat be funny.
I
think that's actually I think that's incredibly possible. If you have at least an emotion going in, you're like, fuck it, I'm miserable.
Yes, let's be funny.
You want to see the fucking bear dance? Let's see the bear dance.
I think so. I was told that I have this thing called a lights on entertainer personality, and I think you do too. Like quite literally, as soon as you sit down, you hit record, let's go, it clicks on. I mean, you can vouch for this. 30 seconds ago, I was a miserable piece of shit. Yeah. I'm still pretty much a miserable piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I'm climbing out of that little pool.
That's fine. Sometimes the butthole can be a little itchy. That's fine.
It's literally what it is. It's me complaining about shit that is raw right now. And it's like 18 different things compounded on top of each other. And the thing I'm actually bitching about is not the thing that's really bothering me. You know what I mean?
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have like a zero? Like, what is your? This is my zero, and everything above this is cheddar, and everything below this irritates me.
Ooh,
what's your zero?
I don't know. I mean, like, how do I get there, or like, what's the feeling of zero?
So for example, like with me, because I was in the military, like my zero I feel is really high.
Okay.
Like, but like the older I get and like the less I sleep on people's couches, I feel like that it is going up. But like, it'll never be as bad as getting shot at, and it'll be never as bad as, all those things.
Yeah.
But, so it makes me feel sad, like weird about complaining about things.
Yes.
But again, like I said, like the older I'm getting and the more like expectation of happiness.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
It goes up. I think there is something that's wrong. Like, because you don't want to be that guy.
I'm very much trying. I literally starting this past week, I have started a new mind training. I'm starting every day, or at some point in the day when I start feeling this frustrated. Literally, you came over. I was going through shit. I was asking Andy. I was like, I need to figure this out because I wanted to live stream tonight on video.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time today trying to figure it out, and I fucking can't. So it just drives me up a wall. And
are you upset?
I mean, I'm over it now.
Did you want to surprise me?
I did.
Did
Like
you
literally,
want to surprise our listeners with that?
I wanted everything to be a surprise, including you. Like we had talked about it briefly last time, but
yeah.
I really wanted you to come over and be like, oh, and then we were just gonna message people and be like, hey guys, who wants to give up their whole evening? Right. Watch us. So a zero, I think that's a really good question because I think my zero is in flux. I think it really depends on where I'm at mentally. And I don't, what's the CPTSD? Is that the right term for it?
I only know just the regular PTSD.
The child psychological drama, whatever.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about it, but
so when I got tested for my ADD shit, they talked really heavily about that. Like trauma gets passed on through your parents, trauma as a child, blah blah blah, and because I snap off and I get angry and like just deflated at the drop of a fucking hat, they were thinking that like that comes from that, and. I mean, yeah, and I got to work through it. Dude, really, the one thing I really want to do is I want to find a fucking shrink. I want to find a psychiatrist that I can sit down and talk to.
I've talked to people who like really like their shrink, and like that, yeah, finding like someone who you're real good with,
yeah,
and someone who's willing to push you seems awesome.
It does.
I don't even know what that would be like.
But my anxiety stems from not having enough time or control in things. And literally just the idea of taking 1 hour out of my week scares the fucking shit out of me. It literally makes me go, nope, don't want to do that.
Even if you think of it as an investment?
It's so hard to because I'm constantly... Dude, it's hard to go to sleep in anymore. I hate going to bed. It sends nerve things through me. There are days when I'm better. There's days when I'm not. I will say the heat really activates a lot of the anxiety and anger. The warmer it gets, the more upset I get.
The itchier your butthole becomes.
Oh my God, dude. I woke up last night scratching myself to ribbons. I was bleeding from scratching myself. And then I had to go to the bathroom and like put like a
Ointment.
the vitamin E on it. But yeah, I just like when it's hot, I can't take it. Like, and I'm at like when you say a level 0, I do think back about times in my life where it's like, well, I've had it way worse than this. Like, this is fucking nothing. I have a house. That's great. I can buy food. That's awesome. You know, and then I bitch about this one thing, but it's like, well, this is what's happening to me right now, and I'm waking up scratching myself bloody, and it's like, that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, and to come full circle on the conversation, that is why I was asking you. Is like if you can ground yourself and just be like, dude, I've had a way worse than this. Just chill out.
When I'm in physical pain, I do think that. That's what I do when I'm in physical pain.
Okay.
That grounds me. What does ground me? I have a mantra. I have a couple mantras. One of them is, who the fuck am I? Like, that's literally in my office, is who the fuck am I? And it's like, me, I'm nothing. Like, who am I in this? Like, this fucking amazing thing called life that goes around. Why does my opinion matter? It doesn't. You know? So, like, calm the fuck down.
Like a double entendre?
How do you mean?
Like, it's questioning yourself of, like, why can't I be more? Who the fuck am I?
Oh, shit, I do that
I
all
want
the
to be
time.
bigger.
Yeah, of course.
I want to be bigger and stronger.
Literally, right next to that on my office wall, it says, fuck average, be legendary.
Yeah.
So.
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I'm fucking legendary.
Spelled Legund.
That's right. Legund.
Legund.
Yeah, so how are you doing? What's going on with you? I'm glad we're going through the whole woe is me bullshit right at the beginning.
I had a very memorable weekend.
A memorable?
Very
memorable. Dish. What happened?
So Friday was cool because I had dinner with friends that I haven't seen in a long time. That was very entertaining. So I enjoyed that. So it was a good start on a Friday. But Saturday.
Oh, shit.
The wife and I went up to Lake Devlin.
That's right. I forgot about this.
We went up to Lake Devlin, and there was professional wrestling. And there was a wrestler who I thought was, like, his gimmick was so fucking funny. His name's Mr. Fitness 2. I thought it was just absolutely hilarious, and I saw him a few years ago. He's got a luchador mask on. He's a big fat dude. He comes out with a shake weight and a cigarette to the song "You're the Best." You're the best around. Nothing ever gonna keep it down. And I just thought that, like, he goes out and he always, like, stretches. He does his stretches to the people in the front row. He just puts his ass right in their faces.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it is just absolutely hilarious. So I thought, like, man, I think it would be really, really cool to, like make shirts for the wife
Hell
and I
yeah.
before we went out. And at first I wanted to do, like, a Godzilla thing where he was, like, Godzilla in the back.
Okay.
But then, because his name is Mr. Fitness 2, I thought, like, oh, it's like a part 2. So it's
right.
like Mario Brothers.
Right.
And I was originally going to do Mario Brothers 3 and then kind of had set everything else. I set everything else up because we went to go buy shirts. And, like, on the way back, I realized it should be the Mario Brothers 2 one.
Right.
And then I'm like, yeah, and I'll put a beer in his hand. And then Heather's like, because I try to grab it off, like, the actual boxes is what I was emulating it from.
The front of the box art,
Yeah,
right?
the box art.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it should be the shake weight. I'm like, oh, babe, that's perfect. So, like, I had to rush to get this thing done because my drawing pad was broken, and I forgot. My drawing pad's been broken for months.
Oh, no.
So the only way I could do that and get, like, the line weight that I wanted, I don't know Illustrator as well.
Yeah, that's a different beast.
I didn't know Illustrator as well, and the line tool in
Yeah.
Photoshop is not that great.
No, it's terrible.
So, dude, the way I had to do it was I had to, like, literally do the lasso tool and fill in the lines with black.
That's what I used to do for the comic.
Oh
I
my
hated
God,
it.
dude, and it takes forever.
Because you want the different line weight. You want, like, the thicker
different line
to, like, the
weights, yeah.
tapering. Yeah.
So, man, it took forever, and I was, like, so worried I wasn't going to be able to get it done in time, and I'd never made shirts before. Have you ever made, like, the shirts where you do the iron on?
The iron on I did a long time ago.
Like, it wasn't that bad. Like, I don't know how long the shirt's going to last, but, like,
That's the thing,
for like, a one-night thing, like, that was kind of cool.
That's awesome. That really is awesome.
So, we got the shirts done together, and I did a thing where it's just, it's essentially him, but it is Mario, and he's jumping up. It's just, like a takeoff of the Mario Brothers 2 cover. And we drive out there. We go to the bar. This place is small. It's very small.
How small? Explain it to me.
Okay, so
explain it to me in chicken coops.
this place is approximately, I'd say, maybe 6 large chicken coops.
Jeez.
So it's not big. The room was really small. It was only big enough for like some tables and chairs and two pool tables.
Two pool tables.
From the guy who stutters all the time. You're gonna bust my balls. 2 pool tables, right? And so they had the ring set up at like this little tiny. It's a real small space, and there was only enough for like 1 row on every side.
Oh my god! Like, was it a normal size wrestling ring?
I mean, yeah.
Good for them.
So they had like maybe 6 feet on all sides, and like just this pool table or this the ring, right?
Yeah.
And the hotel is in the room, and the bar is the next room. So they have like all of this stuff is in one room.
Okay.
It's at the Arcadia Bar and Grill, which is right next to, I'm assuming, the Arcadia Hotel. It might be the hotel.
That makes sense if it's.
I had no idea that the hotel was right next door. So we come to find out that like this place, when the wrestlers get there, like that's where they're staying, is at the hotel. And the when we went to go and sit down, like we go inside, there's not a lot of people there. We ended up paying. This was made my butt cheeks a little chafy.
Oh,
we paid like extra money to get shirts and sign things.
Oh,
like nobody,
like the press pass kind of thing.
yeah,
like
and
the
for
specialty?
VIP seats.
VIP, yeah.
But like everything was the front row. There was no back row. There was no VIP seats. So it's like we got taken there a little bit. Like everybody else's tickets were like $12, and ours were like $35.
I mean.
We bought the shirts.
How
That's
long? Okay. The shirts is actually, that's like, you take a shirt, $20 to $25, but if it's at a tour, it's usually like 30, 40.
Yeah.
So I think you get it good.
So it was cool to get the shirts. But like we went inside, and they had the bar was there. We started drinking with people, and the guy who's sitting next to me, he's wearing a Mr. Fitness shirt.
A real one?
Yeah. So he has these shirts that he sells all the time. And I noticed it right away, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, check out my shirt." And I think the guy was kind of loaded. And he like kind of hard time having a conversation with the dude. He was fagoogered before the thing even started. But as we're sitting there, we're having a couple drinks, and we're talking to the bartender. Like out of the corner of my eye, I see Mr. Fitness 2 comes in the bar as we're drinking before the thing.
Oh, no shit.
He walks in, and I elbow the wife, and I'm like, "Hey, check it out." And he walks up, and he's saying hi, and the guy who's sitting next to me waves at him and says hello, and he walks up to him, and he says, he's like, "Oh man, that's one of the original shirts." He's like, "We called those the Guinness shirts." Because on all the other ones that they have the beers. It's like a picture of him. It's like almost like a mid '80s comic look.
Okay,
kind of like the way the old G.I. Joe comics kind of look, type of thing.
Like the screen tone.
Yeah,
art. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so he knew the whole history of that shirt and everything, and said how cool it was.
No shit.
And I was trying to play it cool because I didn't want to be like a fanboy.
Yeah, it's so hard to though.
And I waved hi to him. He said hello. He never took the lucha. He showed up with the luchador mask on.
See, never see his face. That's really
it's awesome.
Cool.
He leaves the luchador mask on, and he walks over, and I think he might have ordered like a beer or something to like bring up to his room, or I don't know. He did something.
God, I love the idea.
No, he was like pretty cool. And my wife, because she knew I was playing it cool, she butts him and goes, "My husband loves you." And I was like, you're like, I lost all my cool. The guy's like, "Hey man, thanks for showing up." It was really cool. And then he walked back around to talk to the other guy. And he looks over at me, and he's talking to him. And he sees my shirt.
Yeah, the one you made.
The one that I made. He goes, "That is super cool." And he's like, "Where did you get that?" I'm like, "I made it this morning." And he was like flabbergasted. He's like, "That is like the coolest shirt." Like literally right away, he's like, "Can I take a picture of that shirt and post it?" He took a picture of it immediately, and a picture of me and him. And he like within the hour, he put it up online, and they had all these people love the shirt. And we saw the show. We saw the show that night, and it was real small, but like my voice is still gone from like yelling and screaming.
Oh,
like,
that's
dude,
awesome!
Pro wrestling is so cool.
Yeah,
because it's theatrical.
It is theater,
but like
it's 100%.
It's so much fun because you got heels and everybody's in the crowd, and their heels were doing like a great job.
Yeah,
they're taunting everybody. And
what's a heel for those who don't know?
The heel are like those are the bad guys, and you have your baby faces or the good guys, and it's a lot of fun. And the show ended up, because there wasn't like a lot of people there, it ended up going pretty fast.
Oh.
But
how long do you think it went?
At the end, they ended up doing something at the end of saying like, if it was like half price beer if like so and so won, and everybody's like chanting half price beer. And Mr. Fitness, when he was in the ring, he's just like, "Come on, we're all gonna like go drinking in the bar." And I'm thinking like, holy crap, like we can go drinking. Like I'm gonna drink with all these wrestlers when this is done. So like
that's
Heather
awesome.
and I walk into the next room, we order these drinks, and sure as shit, man, like all the wrestlers come down, and Mr. Fitness comes down, and I'm talking to him, still wearing the mask, never takes it off.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
They had all the heels were there, like, and it was super cool talking to all these guys. And on top of all that, after the thing, it was karaoke night. So we ended up
Get out.
Dude, Heather and I did karaoke with a bunch of professional wrestlers after seeing their thing in the hotel they were staying at. It was such a crazy night. We didn't mean to stay. We stayed.
Oh, God, yeah.
We drank and we stayed because we were just going to drive home afterwards. We're like, this is like way
no,
too...
No. That's a once in a lifetime
yeah,
thing.
like this is way too cool. I ended up talking with Mr. Fitness. He's like such a cool guy. He was telling me about
I'm so glad.
like his daughter and everything, and he wanted the shirt.
You did tell me you just took it off and just gave it to him.
Well, no, he wanted the actual thing so he could sell shirts. So we talked it out. Like I already sent him all this stuff. His shirts are now going to be my shirt that he's selling.
Oh, that's so badass.
He offered to like give me some money for it. It wasn't a lot, but I'm like, dude, this was my morning. I'm not gonna.
Well, but it's also
it was totally worth it to me, and I didn't want to like.
That's it right there.
I feel like it's way cooler for me to just give him the shirt.
It's so much cooler, and like, oh God, like being a fan and having the artist recognize you as something that could implement their life better. That's amazing. That's amazing. And like, no, like. It was very cool of him to offer the money because, that's like, an artist giving an artist something. But it's way cooler to be like, hey, you wanted to be a part of him just for a second.
Yeah.
Just a part of his story.
Yeah.
You know?
So I went home. I talked with him and asked if there's any changes, and I kind of made the changes. And he has a cigarette in his mouth. I changed the smoke and hid my initials in the smoke.
Like a fucking rock star.
I was like, okay, there we go.
Oh my God. So are you gonna buy one when they come out? Like the official?
Fuck no, I'm wearing the
John.
original. Yeah. You kidding me?
If that was the end of the show right there.
I'm rolling in with the original shirt.
It's all peeling and shit. It's all vintage.
No, I still got the shirt.
Because you washed it twice.
I haven't washed it yet. So
like a gentleman.
Like a gentleman. Yeah, I got to smell like a gym. But yeah, it was super memorable night. And when I was talking with him, he's getting into acting, and I guess there is Trauma. He's doing a Trauma film with who's the president of Trauma?
Lloyd Kaufman.
Yep, he's doing it with Lloyd Kaufman. I guess there's a
Toxic Avengers coming out. The remake's coming out here soon.
It's something completely different.
Okay. I mean, they release movies like
No, I'm sorry. It's being produced by Lloyd Kaufman.
All of them are produced by Lloyd Kaufman. Well,
but there's
a different
different director.
Yeah.
The producer is Lloyd Kaufman.
I don't think Lloyd directs in it anymore, by the way.
And I guess it's called like Troma South because they're out of Kansas City.
I haven't heard
Which I didn't know. I went online. I guess there's a Troma LA. There's a Troma New Jersey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, New Jersey.
But I guess they got a Troma South out of
I didn't
Kansas
know that.
City.
Never heard that.
So yeah, and that's where they're. And I think he's like one film away from a SAG card.
Oh, can he be in Black Magic Cop first?
Oh, I got an attaboy from him. If we could.
Okay, here's a question because we've been pushing Black Magic Cop around for 3 years now. Would you, if you got the okay, and he said, "I don't want money, I just want to be a part of this," so no financial obligation, would you take a week off of work to go make this movie? Like, would that push you to do it?
Would what push me to do it?
Having him in the movie, having him as like Sawdust, or
oh my God, if he was he couldn't take off the mask. I don't know if he'll ever take the mask off.
So he never takes off the mask.
I would adjust it so Sawdust just never took the mask.
Yeah,
off.
I mean, like we can. It would be. It'd be
but
amazing.
that would mean that
amazing.
Mr. Fitness 2 is Sawdust, and it'd be his head shooting the beam of light out of it.
Yeah, and like, dude,
I almost want to draw this and just show it to him. Be like, dude, we've had this movie that's been set for a really long time. We were always trying to figure out who like the main people would be, and you'd make an excellent Sawdust.
I mean, it would be embarrassing to bring like someone who's a trained actor, at least at some level, onto the plan of us going, hey, let's take a couple weekends off and make a feature film.
I know. I mean, I got an attaboy from him.
That's so cool.
With the thing, so
that's really amazing. That's really
Door
amazing.
might be open. He was a really nice guy,
and that's all that
matters. I think the biggest thing of why I didn't want to talk to him was like I didn't want to have like drawn this thing and wear it and find out he's like a jerk. I mean, he ended up not being a jerk at all. He ended up being like an incredibly cool guy. He was like I don't know. He told me like he's in a band and like he was such a nice guy.
Oh shit!
He was in a band. He sang. Heather actually has video of him singing. He was singing The Doors.
Did Heather sing?
Oh my God, she killed it, dude. Heather is she's an amazing singer.
I know, you keep telling me that.
And she was like, there was one guy there who was like he is a trained singer. Like he went to college for singing, and he's being shopped around to all these things because like he can sing really good, and now he's getting into wrestling.
Really? That's a nice little duo.
Dude, they heard her sing, and like those guys are going fucking gaga, like falling.
No shit.
They're like, oh my God, you're amazing. Yeah, dude, Heather is so good. And she's never had to take like any classes or anything. She just kind of
that fucking natural talent, man.
So, yeah, so she was like, I think she was like real similar to you and I. We were kind of like nerd jocks, you know. But I think she was a little bit more closed off when she was in high school. But when she graduated and she was a waitress for 15 years, being a waitress for 15 years like really, really kind of opened her up. And
I didn't know she was doing it for that long. That's
she was like a server and a bartender for 15 years.
Whoa.
Now she's like a CPA.
Like the head CPA, right?
Yeah, she's awesome. And like people, they love that about her. They love that, like, because it's weird. And I understand this also. Is like people whose lives just kind of worked out well and were able to go from like, first I did high school and then college and then I just immediately transitioned into a job, and like they never got shit on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's weird. I mean, those people are wildly successful. You know, I'm happy that it happened for them, but like it always just kind of surprises me that like, wow, just life just all the cars just one domino just kept falling into the other for you. That's great. But like when you tell people that, you know, when they find out that Heather's a CPA and she was also a bartender for 15 years, more often than not, those people are very enamored with those people because they're holding the life that they've never had.
Well, it's also a dichotomy of a personality that she's literally breaking a stereotype of a trope of what a CPA is.
Oh yeah, dude, she is nothing like. Yeah, she's not like your. I don't know if there's a typical accountant, but she is definitely not a typical accountant.
If you were to say a joke, say an accountant walked into a bar, no matter who you are, you automatically have a vision picture of who is walking into a bar.
Yeah, and it's not going to be my wife.
Right, exactly. That's cool.
She learned how to sing just by like getting drunk and singing karaoke at Wheaton Bowl. Wheaton Bowl. She loved to drink. Like she would get drinky.
Yeah.
And do karaoke at Wheaton Bowl, and she did it for years. And it was like, and she said it was just a real crazy thing because like at Wheaton Bowl they had like a lot of like adults with special needs, and who would just all show up at Wheaton Bowl, and they'd like just imagine like people from like Kiss My TV show, and they would just get drunk and sing karaoke.
That's fucking awesome.
It is fucking awesome, and like that was like what she would do.
As long as it's a welcoming environment.
It was like everybody was super cool.
Yeah.
She said like there was one lady who she said was a very good singer.
Okay.
She was a black lady.
Yeah.
Who was like always immaculately dressed, was an amazing singer, and Heather referred to her as the judge. The judge was a lady who, if you were not good, shit. She didn't even clap. So Heather always knew how good she was by whether the judge actually cared. Like if the judge was clapping or anything, then she knew she did.
That's actually really cool, man. Like this little like subsect of society, and like a hierarchy.
Have you ever done karaoke or anything? Like?
I mean, I've done rap battles. I've never done karaoke though.
Oh, that's right. You did like have the whole music thing going on for a while.
Yeah.
It is weird that like that was just a blip in all the things that are Jay.
No, I mean all the things that everyone is. You know, everyone goes through phases and shit, and yeah.
Everyone goes through phases.
Everyone goes through phrases.
Yeah.
Sometimes too. Not like I've always wanted to do karaoke, but this might be the hipster in me, but they never have the songs I want to sing. You know? So it's like, I don't really want to.
I've never had that occur ever, because you just tell them what you want and then tell them they're going to have to find it, and 100% of the time they do.
Really?
Yeah.
They never find the songs I want.
Like, what are you looking for?
Eminem's Dead Wrong. That's usually one of my go-tos. Optimus Rhyme, Sick Day.
Yeah, they would have all those.
Really?
Yeah, dude, you just look it up and they find them.
I like your adamant defiantness of
They
this.
just find them on the internet machine.
You just get it. You just get it. So like I actually talked.
Everything exists online.
I talked
Matter
to
of fact,
a DJ.
the fact that we thought about it, it just became a thing now.
I mean, that is it. Is DJs will do that. Is they will go to YouTube or whatever and try and find the instrumental. But Dead Wrong can be found, but not Optimus Rhyme. That's still one of my favorite.
When's the last time you looked it up? Now I want to know.
When was that concert I did at Saki Records when you came to Chicago?
When was that? Was that 2008?
No, it was actually,
2010?
It was pretty close to that. When was that? Jesus Christ. I think that was 2010. So yeah, that'd probably be the last time. Bum, bum, bum.
What's the name of it? Optimus Rhyme.
Optimus Rhyme, Sick Day.
Sick Day. Karaoke. The hardest part is figuring out how to spell karaoke. K-R-O.
It's spelled like it sounds. Karaoke. K-A-R-A.
Yep, that's Karuk is what it looks like.
Jesus.
Yeah, here it is right here.
What?
Yep, I found it.
Get the fuck out.
No, I have no idea.
Because I'm still trying to type because my fingers are too fat. Karaoke.
Optimus Rhyme. Sick Day.
Yeah, no karaoke version.
There are several. Oh, wait. There might be. Hold on.
There's a JZ75.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, but that's just the album, isn't it? Yeah, that's just the album. But
darn it.
I found a JZ75.
What?
That That's one of my other favorite songs by them.
They have Anxiety, the custom karaoke version. They have that one. If they have that one, they have other ones.
I don't know Anxiety.
See?
Ooh.
The Deep Bench Karaoke YouTube channel. They have all sorts of things on here. They have Weird Al Yankovic
That is
on
really
here.
cool. Hey, look at me.
So Heather and I, we
Look at me, baby. Rap out Susan, guns and fear, soul, dramatic, emphatic. I got the pens, I can't out my necklace, champagne bubble bath. I fucked it up. Woo! I know the next one though.
do you?
Woo! Hi, here is the eminent hip hop. Take a good minute, won't stop. Aloe crystal to the compound do rag, Timberland boots, he ain't got down. You underground, no, you don't dump it on dope. You'll need that ice in a rope. Oh, fuck, it's been a while since I've seen this. Hey, tell you, front like a rock star, but friends of the Benz or a Jaguar. By far the best dressed on the scene, an MC on the cover of 17. What's real, but I got a pop deal. Eating deals on a 5-course meal. It's no longer real to real, and all you can do is sell out. Wow, what a great deal. There's nothing me to do. Prove myself back with another crew. I just fucked up. I can't do this anymore, and it makes this show dumb.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Okay,
Better than most.
Aw.
See, so they do have Optimus Rhyme.
Legitimately fucking floored that we found that. That makes me so fucking happy. I'm gonna download that.
You made special requests.
Yeah,
You could do that. I know that Heather and I want
it'd
to
be better if I knew the words.
We go on YouTube, and like I think for the past couple New Year's Eves and Christmases, we just stay at home and do karaoke on YouTube.
No shit.
We just drink and do karaoke on YouTube.
That's awesome.
And we want to a big thing that we want to do is we want to fix our garage up.
Yeah.
And have a little karaoke thing in our garage.
Oh no!
Would
shit.
you matter of fact, anybody here, everybody's welcome. If we had a karaoke jam at the in Buttertown, would you guys want to show up? I think that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I would do it.
I know that Bob's going to be in town here sometime soon.
October.
I don't know if he'd be down for a karaoke jam.
But maybe he'd be down to hang out with people.
Well, people would be there.
I want to do "What's Up, People."
What's up, people?
That's the song I play when you're having a bad day, and you're just like, I need a little pep, I need a little upstand. I need to feel better about myself. That's the song I play on the way to work.
Oh.
Oh.
You know what I think is hilarious is that Apple Music has a karaoke thing on it now.
No, does it really?
Yeah. And you could literally, and I've done this, legally, of course. I will drive and put the karaoke thing up while I'm driving because I have
What's wrong with that?
I have a little heads-up display on my phone.
Because you want to read it at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh.
I will gladly sing while driving.
Well, I mean, just sing. Just sing the words.
I don't know words very well.
Why?
I have found, now that being married, I've found that 99% of what I said is just bullshit that I've been mispronouncing.
Oh, songs?
Everything.
Yes.
All words. All words. There was this singer who I thought was very talented. Her name was Adelaide. And I was just like, man, Adelaide is super talented. And I remember Heather, and I thought this for years. And Heather goes, "You mean Adele?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'm embarrassed now. I had no idea.
Have you ever heard her talk, by the way?
No.
Adelaide? She has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard.
Yes.
Singing wise.
She's very talented.
We heard her on NPR I think it was for Christmas, so somewhere around the holidays. Andy
She
and I
sound like Eliza Doolittle.
we're driving around.
Crikey, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So she's singing live in front of an audience and on NPR, and we're like, this is so beautiful. And then she's like, you all like that one? And I'm like, I fucking love you even more now. She's hilarious. I mean, I don't think she's trying to be funny. I think that's just her horrible accent, but
I thought it was funny. She lost a shit ton of weight, and all these fat chicks just
hated
lost
that.
their goddamn mind.
yeah.
It's dude, being fat is not awesome.
I know, but also
When I was young, I would joke about it, but now that I'm fat, it's the worst.
But there's a difference between getting healthy versus being told you have to get skinny or no one will love you, which is what the media is. You read fucking, what was it called? The Chuck Palahniuk book. Not Lullaby, the other one, where the guy like had to go off and like he became a superstar. He became like a celebrity.
Invisible Monsters or Survivor?
Oh, I think it was. Was it? I think it was Survivor.
Survivor's the one.
Oh my god, it's been a minute.
Survivor's the one where they read the words where the letters or the numbers go backwards.
Okay, so I think maybe it was Invisible, but whatever it was the book where they put the guy. He was really ugly, and they basically told him he's a nobody unless they do the regiment they put out for him. And it's like you have to be handsome, you have to work out every day.
He was cleaning.
I don't remember.
He was in the cult where everybody was cleaning things up all the time.
No,
it was probably Invisible Monsters.
Okay, it's been a minute since
the one
I
where
read
had
the
where you turn the book upside down and it's an ugly person. You turn it the other way, it's a pretty girl.
Yeah,
that's Invisible Monsters.
Okay,
yeah, I love Chuck Palahniuk. I haven't read his books in a long time. Haunted was super good.
Haunted was
specifically great. Haunted because it was a bunch of the short series books.
Right.
Haunted was great. The one about the kid who had his guts pulled out in the pool. Where he had the suction.
Yes, yeah.
The suction
from the
pool.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. And I remember like when I heard that people were fainting when they were reading that. Oh my god! So it is gross. Like when he's like very vividly describing what it's like to bite through his intestines full of shit, or he's gonna drown. And I remember just like, oh my god, it's so crazy and so gross at the same time. But on top of that, there's I listen to audiobooks all the time, and I was going through them, and I think it was Stephen King's Nightmares and Dreamscapes. It was either Nightmares and Dreamscapes or one of them. Mm-hmm. He did a series of short stories, and there was one of those short stories is like some of the best movies ever, and there was all just in one.
The Dollar Babies.
The Dollar Babies?
The Dollar Babies is his special project where if you want to license one of his short stories to make a movie, it costs $1.
Oh my God. There was, Stand By Me was one of these stories.
Dude, his shorts are fucking great.
Oh my God, his shorts are amazing.
His full-length books are not.
Yeah, The Stand was good. I loved The Stand until the end.
That's the problem, John.
It's like, why did you go to this metaphysical thing? You didn't have to.
Dude cannot write an ending to save his life. What I honestly feel happens is he's such a prolific author. I think he's a great author, to be honest.
I think he's just plowing through.
He writes these great stories, and then literally 3/4 of the way through, he gets bored and wants to write the next one. So he's like, it's a space weasel, Dreamcatcher. Next. You know, like fucking Family Guy made the joke about it. It's like, oh, it's a spooky lamp. Like, he cannot write an ending. His endings are awful.
Everything is always tied to the giant turtle, the metaphysical turtle in the sky.
It should, which would be nice to connect.
No, I think a lot of them are attached to, like, the backbone of all these stories is this, like, great evil fighting the good, and the good is the big turtle.
Okay.
And I think that is, like... There is this big, overarching Stephen King world in between good and evil. Mm-hmm. And I want to know more about the big turtle.
Yeah.
Because I like turtles. Which I think a lot of it has to do with Native American religion and like their like beginning story was that, you know, essentially they call Earth is just a big...
The back of a turtle.
Or North America, I guess, would be... just the back of a big turtle.
Yes. I think that's Mesopotamic. I don't think that's just Indian. I think that goes back way further.
Oh, I'm sure. I know specifically when I was doing research about Native American stuff in the Boundary Waters area, and I know in the Boundary Waters area they kind of assumed that all the little islands out there were multiple turtles that were kind of spread all over the place. And
I remember you telling me about
bash
this.
the pieces with that, but. He's from, yeah, and I think that's probably close to the same area. I think Native American, like mythology and stuff like that, I'm so fascinated by it because there was this whole land, like in America, and there was all these stories, and all just got dashed away. Like cuisine gone, culture gone.
Well, because a crusty old white man hanging on a cross had to come and take over.
Like literal Jesus?
Yeah, literal Jesus. Because he came over here, he came to Utah, and he said, hey, Joseph, John, what was his name?
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah, that guy.
That's my name
He was
too.
all. Have you ever listened to like the history of Mormonism?
It's pretty wonky. A guy who was convicted of being a con man for creating religion moved across the country and created a religion.
And everyone just took it as face value.
I tell you what, the older I get and the more that I'm seeing over the past 4 or 5 years, it's crazy what people will believe. And I think I believe it now.
Uh-huh.
I can see how Mormonism became a thing because of now.
Yep.
I can see how like the 1930s in Europe happened because of now. I can see lots of things happening.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know like so many people who I loved and trusted were so gullible.
Oh God, that's one of the worst parts.
That is the worst part. Even like I think when I was telling before, like the Civil War, Lincoln didn't free the slave. Like nothing happened. It was just
right.
It was just the imaginary fear of like these imaginary monsters that are created. Like you can in times of need, or no, in times of like really awful strife, and if people aren't getting their way,
Right.
you can rise to power really quick if you are able to create a monster.
Yep.
And you have the golden dagger to kill it. Or you can convince people that you have the golden dagger.
And that's what it is you don't have to have the golden dagger. You just have to say, hey, I have the golden dagger.
And they won't let me use it.
Oh.
And the thing is, if you keep
point.
saying they is different for everybody.
That is true. Very true. Do you... God, like I want to go down this rabbit hole, but I also want to show you this video that I took because it's fucking the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Is this something that you've recorded yourself?
Yes.
Or is this something that you grabbed off the internet machine?
This is quite literally something my backyard camera recorded. And I'm just going to keep talking about other stuff.
Is it a goblin that?
Basically, yeah.
Like a backyard goblin? Or what's the Mexican?
Chupacabra?
Chupacabra, yeah.
I don't think it's on here anymore. Oh, that fucking.
Have you ever seen a dog that has mange?
I have.
I could 100% see how people.
That's
would
a
be
chupacabra?
terrified. Yeah.
Yeah, I
A
agree.
coyote with mange is what they think a chupacabra is.
I mean, that makes sense.
They're terrifying. Have you ever seen a chimpanzee with mange?
I have not.
Fucking terrifying.
Really?
It's like Frank the Tank, man. Chimpanzees. Or Joe Rogan. You know what I think is funny is Joe Rogan talks about chimpanzees all the time. That
Does he?
dude is a chimpanzee himself.
Does he talk about chimpanzees a lot?
All the time. He just wants to
Why?
talk about like how powerful they are.
What? For real? Why?
Yeah.
Like I don't really listen to them. I don't see the draw.
I listened to Joe Rogan for years when
Right.
he just kind of had like cool guys talking about weird shit.
I liked Rob Zombie being on that. That one was neat.
I like it when he was just a cool guy or like he just smoked weed and drank and just had people talk about shit. And he was just really good about asking them questions because he was truly interested. But now he's put himself in this position to where, you know, he's... And I'm paraphrasing a lot of this from something else that I heard because I'm not this smart, but this is a very good realization of what it is. He's kind of like been able to put himself through this university by having these great minds. So, well, some great and some not so great. And I'll keep looking for it because I want to know.
Yeah, okay.
You've built it up and I want to see it. He's had all these great minds come onto his show and talk to him for like 3+ hours.
Yeah, right.
Almost like every day of his life, and he gets to ask them like pointed questions. I mean, nobody's been able to like you can't have probably a better education than anybody, and it's all in long form, so it's not like a shallow thing. It's not like it's a 1 hour thing. He not only gets to hear some of like the forefront stuff, he gets to ask questions. He gets like actual back and forth with it, right? So he's not a dumb guy.
Jesus, not what I wanted. Sorry, go on.
He's not a dumb guy, but
Right.
like now he's starting to drink his own Kool-Aid.
Okay.
And now he's gotten to where like he'll say some like really silly, fucked up, like not real shit. You know, like, well, you know, he'd say something like it's you know, common knowledge that there was people in the CIA there on January 6th hyping up the crowd to get them to go inside. Like, he'll say some silly shit like that. But, like, if you get somebody has a lot of credibility or somebody who's his friend or somebody who can, like, really start to call him out and he can't back it up, he'll always fall back to well, I was drunk or I was high or I'm a comedian. But if he doesn't do that and he's one of those guys who can never take a joke.
Oh, really? Is he like that?
Because he'll sit there and he'll lean on you and say how you're full of shit and he'll drop all this knowledge on you. But if you prove him wrong, well, hey man, why are you giving me a hard time? I'm just a drunk, high comedian. Like you don't get to live in both worlds. You can't.
That's bullshit.
You can't on the one hand say it's common knowledge that the CIA put plants in the crowd on January 6th to hype the crowd up.
Dude, I put ferns everywhere.
I know. And then on the other hand, be like, oh man, hey man, don't trust what I say though. Don't trust what I say. I'm just a drunk high comedian. You can't
live in both worlds.
Yeah, you don't get that.
Okay, I'm gonna apologize about this ahead of time.
Okay.
But I need to tell you the backstory of why this video is so fucking scary.
This is great podcasting.
This is great podcasting. You ready?
Yeah. Now you walk me through what's going on.
So I'm dead asleep in the middle of the night about a month ago. I hear, oh my God, wake the fuck up! My wife screams at me about 1 o'clock in the morning because our alarm on the back of our house goes off because there's movement. And we see this. Go ahead. Push the play button.
That's not a small spider in the middle of the thing there. Why did the alarm go off for a spider?
Because it goes off for a leaf moving in the grass. And in the middle of the night, this thing came down directly in front of the camera. And the night vision picked it up, and me in my stupid ass, just waking up self thought there was a goddamn kaiju in our backyard. Like there was a spider coming down from the oak trees.
That's common sense.
And
it's common sense that the CIA planted kaiju spiders in front of your camera.
I mean, obviously, but don't believe me. I'm just a comedian doing a podcast.
Yeah, drunk and high comedian. Drunk on Dr. Pepper diet.
So, like that, every once in a while, I'll play that to get a laugh, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
I don't like you. Thank you. But yeah. Hey, how's it going?
I'm really excited to see the new Toxic Avenger.
I am too. Peter Dinklage is in it.
I know, that's the biggest reason.
Same.
Well, I'm pretty excited about that.
There's quite a few people in it.
Now, is this going to be like a reboot, or is this going to be like a part 3?
There are 4 already.
Are there?
Let's get this straight. Citizen Toxie, I believe, was the last one where he gave birth to his own mom.
Okay.
God, John, it's like you don't even know anything. Yeah, so the director of it is a huge old Trauma fan, huge Toxie fan, owns all the episodes of the cartoon show. So he wanted to do it justice by not... Peter Dinklage says it's not a real reboot, but everyone else says it's a reboot. It's a remake. So I don't care. I'm fucking done labeling things. I just want to watch it.
So is it going to be like a true Trauma film, or is it going to be like a film that just looks like a piece of shit, like a DC film?
Well, that's a big thing. Old Trauma films actually tried hard on the gore aspects, on the practical effects and things like that. They actually put time into it.
I 100% agree with that.
What they didn't put time into was acting. And that is okay, because the subject matter was always kind of silly, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not having the great everything else.
Well, now they have one of the greatest actors of our generation, Peter Dinklage, on there.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you ever see the movie Station Agent? It's not.
Yes.
It's my favorite movie that he was in.
A long time ago.
Fuck, he was so good in that.
He was.
So yeah, I am stoked to see that as well. That's on my short list. I'm not really paying attention to what's coming out anymore. I don't watch movie trailers. I do that very specifically because I don't want to know what a movie's about before I watch it. I like going in blind now.
I really want to see Oppenheimer, and I don't want to go in blind. I want to. They have a book about it called American Prometheus that I really want to see, but it's like a 29-hour audiobook.
Ew.
So it would take a very long time to get through all that.
Yeah.
That'd be a few weeks of listening.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't really have the time for it because I'm still studying for my exams. And I need my. I paid for the study material for my exams, and I've had like audiobook versions of it for the longest time, like audio of it, and I never really knew how to listen to it because you have to like download these MP3 files. Matter of fact, I called you the other day.
Yeah.
Said,
Is this what it was about?
Yeah. And I had another buddy said that the way that he did it was he put them on his Google.
Wait, MP3?
MP3.
What's wrong with MP3? You can play it on anything.
Well, I guess like iPhones have a hard time picking it up.
Oh, because iPhones are proprietary. They suck. Yeah.
What does it need? MP4 for?
MP4 and MP3 are... Oh, no, not MP4. You're thinking MPA?
No.
Because MP4 is a video codec.
Whatever the file is, iPhones were having a difficult time of doing it. So
iPhones like M4A. Audiobooks come as M4B. So like how like you get I don't know if you download audiobooks or like just stream them.
I have Audible.
I buy them and download the actual files. I hate the idea of not owning it. It freaks me out. I don't want to be able to connect to something to be able to watch it or listen to it. I want to be able to have it. So I just learned this. For the longest time, audiobooks come in M4B format, and I was trying to find converters online, and they charge you money for it to switch them to MP3. And literally what you can do is, right-click on it and hit rename and change the B to an A, and it plays like an MP3.
You're shit, man.
100%. It works like a fucking charm.
Wow.
It works. I have a giant backlog of audiobooks that are all M4Bs that I've been waiting to listen to that I can't, and I'm like, oh, yep, now I can listen to them all.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. But ironically, iPhones or Apples in general aren't really MP3 compatible enjoyably.
So the way that he was able to get the things was he saved them onto his Google Drive.
So you're playing it from the Google Play.
And I played it from Google.
Yep, exactly.
And that works like a charm. So that's what I listen to in the mornings now.
Cool, nice, good. I'm glad you find a nice, easy workaround.
I need to be done with my exams.
How close are you?
I have 5 exams left.
Like, how big are the exams? Are they like a giant thing each?
They probably take like a few months each to study for.
Get the fuck out. For real?
Yeah.
So when's your next one?
October, I think.
Oh, that's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Oof, that's kind of weird that that's right around the corner.
Yeah. But I want to be done next year. I'm going to try and like plow through it next year.
Okay.
If I could just have 4 to go, I think I'll be able to. I should be able to not knock it out next year.
Okay.
But like now that my wife is done, since she just finished grad school
so
herself,
you can focus on yours.
Yeah. Now if I can just be done with all my shit, like I don't even like that's the final thing. Like
that's it.
Like to just be done. Mm-hmm. That's bananas to me to just kind of do whatever I want now. Like, well, I mean, I do kind of whatever I want sometimes, probably more often than I should. But there's always that guilt of, hey, you piece of shit, you should be studying. You should be studying for these exams and be done.
That's my everyday. That's the whole beginning of this podcast and how I freak out about dumb shit. It's that, hey, you piece of shit, why aren't you doing this better? Fuck, I get that, man. Just get it fucking done.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
What do you mean? To get it done? Or
No.
what are you going to do afterwards?
Afterwards.
Have a fucking hobby. Do anything else.
I think I want to draw more.
Okay.
I want to draw more. I want to make stuff. I want to download either like a 3D printer or a CNC or like a laser.
You should download a 3D printer.
You probably could do that.
But what are you going to do? How are you going to make it?
I don't know. I always kind of thought it'd be cool to.
Wait, are you serious? You want to make a 3D printer?
I wouldn't be making the 3D printer.
I
want to. I think it would be cool to have a side gig where I'm just selling fun things that I've made online.
It's called Etsy, man. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I think that would be cool.
Do that. Please do that.
I also have a thing. I want to draw every street on my block. I'm sorry. I want to draw every house on my street.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I want to draw every house on my street, and I want to give it to people on Christmas. And I don't want to I don't want to like have anything. I just want to wrap it up, and I want to put it in all there.
Wow.
I think that would be a cool thing too.
Oh, dude, speaking of this, great transition. I bought postcards from the 1930s.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what?
From Elgin.
No shit.
I went to the all-night flea market this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, you've been there, right? In Wheaton?
No.
Oh, you haven't been to the all-night flea market in DuPage?
I don't know if I've ever even heard of this.
Get the fuck out. Okay, so
what do you do other than it's all night?
It's literally no longer all night, which kind of bummed me out. But you know, I'm old, so staying up that late
all
is
night's
hard
like
anyway.
10 p.m.
Yeah. So now it's still called the all-night flea market, but now it opens at 3 p.m. instead of like 9.
Wait, it opens?
Yeah.
Oh, it opens at 3 p.m.
And then it closes at 1 a.m.
Yeah, that's way too late.
So it used to be till dawn. I remember my dad and I would stay, like, you bring a flashlight because there's no fucking power. This is when I was in high school.
Wait, you do this with a flashlight?
So yeah, so now there's power. Now like but most of the vendors don't have power. So you still need the flashlight to like check stuff out, the stuff they're selling.
Who thought this was a good idea?
I think it's the greatest thing ever.
Let's sell shit by moonlight.
I think it's amazing. And literally it is the only flea market I really enjoy going to.
So where is this again?
It's at the DuPage County Fairgrounds. It's once a year.
Okay.
It just happened the night you went to go see Mr.
Fitness.
Mr. Fitness. I was going to say fantastic, and that didn't sound right. And it was fucking fun. It was a blast. We got to meet a lot of weird, amazing people. I say weird not in a bad way, but just like weird as in like these are the people I actually want to hang out with, not like the everyday people.
Is it really the people you want to hang out with?
Yeah, legitimately. We met this one lady who takes bones.
Yeah.
Ethically collected and cleaned bones.
What is ethically?
She finds them. She doesn't kill the animals or anything like that.
Okay.
And then she de-skins them in her backyard. She says she lives over next to Buttertown, the town over. So like we were just shooting the shit about the area, and she says there's a prairie path right behind her home. So she has these buckets of bones in her backyard, and people walk by and just give her like really strange looks. And then her boyfriend or husband is a metal band guitarist, and he just got back from a tour in Europe, but his real hobby, his real passion is cooking. And I sat at this booth for maybe 15 minutes just like, I wish I was cool enough to be your friends. And then they invited us over for their house. So
did you go?
We haven't gone yet. We're gonna. I haven't even reached out to them. I got their like personal emails and shit like that. So I'm going to this week.
Did you buy something from them?
No, because we didn't really bring a lot of money. Like literally, our goal when we go here was we just like to look around. We just like to look. Like,
is it more like a crafts fair, or are they actually selling
that's
things?
It used to be like fucking like here's my garage, fine stuff. But now I would say, honestly, half of it is like 80s toys. And literally after you see it at one booth, you're like, I'm good, man.
I don't know where to
don't
put that
care.
stuff. Like I don't have a lot of room for things.
A lot of junk, a lot of crafts, a lot of 80s toys, like ridiculous amounts of 80s toys. Comic books galore. All of them look like they were dug up in a swamp, like the way they look and feel. And I kept, like, my thing is I want to find those rare DVDs. I want to find those rare movies or VHS. And then this one guy... Like I'm looking through everything he has, all his DVDs. He goes, "Oh man, you like movies?" I was like, "Yeah, dude. I'm like, I have my list. I'm looking for like the rare stuff." He goes, "Oh, you want rare? I got rare." And he pulls out Casino and Kill Bill. And I said, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, these are rare. They don't make them anymore." I'm like, "They don't make
any of these.
They don't make any of these anymore." So I was like, "Okay, do you have any boutique Blu-ray?" He goes, "I don't know what that is." Like Criterion, Vinegar Syndrome.
That's when you point to the sky and say, "Look, a bald eagle."
But then we ended up talking with other people. But the one thing I wanted, the one thing I really wanted there, Years ago, I took Andy because I was working a wedding. I got off at midnight, and I said, "Be ready when I get home because I'm going to pick you up and we're going to go." I picked her up at 1. We fucking flew to Wheaton. We looked around really quick. People were packing up. It was raining that night, and everything's outdoors. So we find this one guy who brings, like, look at this room. Like, I'd say from like that wall to probably the end of the table and complete. Just old postcards in boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. And everything is categorized. It is ridiculously well categorized. From like sports to...
Are these like things where it was already written to somebody?
Yes. All of...
so you have people's addresses
Yes.
there's where these was written to.
So here's what I did. I looked for Elgin because I looked for Buttertown because something about living in Buttertown, like there's like, I don't know, there's some kind of connection.
Absolutely.
Like 1 year for my birthday, Andy got me a map of Buttertown, and it's like I have it on my wall upstairs. I love it. I just like looking at it, you know? So I want some history. I want some Buttertown history. So I looked through the Buttertown postcards, and then there's Buttertown Town. There's Buttertown bridges, there's Buttertown buildings, Buttertown architecture, Buttertown something else.
That's awesome, dude.
And I'm looking through all of them, and really, like, part of me was like, hey, this is awesome. But I wanted to find something of your house. Remember how you said you got that letter?
Yeah, a guy sent me a letter that was sent to my house in 1932.
So I was looking for like old houses, maybe something around that area. I did find a postcard of the tower. So I bought you that. It's upstairs. Not all the postcards have been sent, but some of them have. It would take you weeks to get through the collection, to like look at everything. Weeks if you were just doing it. And then I talked to the guy who owns the collection. He goes, yeah, this is 1/10 of it. The rest is at home. We don't have enough cars to bring it. And then I talked to his wife, and his wife's like, yes, we have so much. So like I was talking to him. I'm like, dude, would you ever be interested in grabbing a coffee and telling me your whole story? Like,
yeah, how do you get into that?
I just want to mic you up and then tell me your story.
That's a great idea.
And I'll just put it on, like, because that's what I want to do, man. You and I had that idea years ago about like, dude, let's just get some mics, travel across the country, meet weird people, and just have conversations with them. I want to do that. So
do you feel like you have the ability to have like a mobile mic where you could like get 20 minutes out of somebody in place, like that you can carry with you?
I have them right there.
Do you do that?
I
Do you need to sign like?
Oh, I mean,
I would love that.
You should. If you wanted to do it legitimately, you should have a waiver on you, sign the waiver, be done. Yeah, I mean, that's my like. I would freaking love to do that. I don't think I ask good enough questions though. So like, it would be really fun to do it with you. You and I talked about this.
I love asking questions. 12
years ago, we were talking about like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we just did this for like a month? And I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool. Because I remember when you and I were down in
Carbondale,
whatever the town was south of it, the artist town. Not Anna.
Oh, Makanda.
Makanda, thank you. We were at a bar, and I asked for root beer. You rolled your eyes, and then the bartender says, yeah, go across the street to the root beer bar.
The Root Beer Saloon.
And we're like, yes, please, let's go do that.
Yeah.
And we went there, and we talked to the guy, and then he brought out, he goes, guys, do you want to see something really cool?
The Zuni guitars.
And he brought out his fucking guitars that he built.
Yeah, $25,000 guitars.
He made them for like rock stars. He said he made them for like the Stones. Was that one of them?
He did it a lot. It was Michael Zuni.
Like that's the kind of shit that when you and I get together, we meet these people. I mean, you in general, you more than me, but we meet these people that I don't want to like hype it up and be like, oh, you're amazing. I just want to have a conversation. Like, and I think that's why I started Behind Every Story, the podcast, because I remember having that experience, and then we had the experience with the jewel crafter, not that far
Alan
from there.
Stuck.
Holy shit, I can't believe you remember their names.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking. And literally like a week after that, I was at home buying flowers at Jewel. And I talked to the lady behind the counter, and she told me all about her husband who died in World War II. And I was like, there's a lot to unpack here. Let's go down this journey really quick and just have a conversation. And she just told me. She told me about like how she remarried, but she never like fell out of love. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, that's what I want to record. I just wanted to record because I think everyone has an amazing story.
How long do you think, if we were to do this, would we just have like because it would have to be somewhat edited.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't edit it at all?
Because here's the thing. I love doing this passionately. I love having this kind of conversation. The problem is, if you do this, you're creating a whole other job if you edit it.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not as time inducing, it's not as time intensive as video, but it's still a lot more work. If I can just clean it up, put it out, do the next one, cool. I don't want to edit. I want to dive into the story.
Maybe when I'm done, maybe editing podcasts.
I can show you how to do it.
Because I am the guy who was like the most fantastic editor was Jab Abumrad.
I know that name.
He was one of the original guys for Radiolab. He was
Radiolab,
he was a sound engineer.
Oh, those.
And he was incredible at creating a story with,
sound clips,
with sound clips,
audio environments. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. His shit was awesome.
He was really big on like, tell me what did it sound like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he'd start to create an environment. He was really incredible. I would love to do something like that. Maybe that could be how I fill time.
Like, honestly, the only reason I'm hesitant about it is because that's what I do for a living. Like, that's my job. And it's very hard to there's never a time, like we went to the flea market and the entire time I'm texting people. I'm emailing people back at 1:00 in the morning because people, they don't think anyone sleeps, So I would love to do it. I have so much on my goddamn plate, which is why a hidden episode of something else has not been released yet. It's literally on my computer upstairs.
Have you told anybody?
I've told nobody.
Me neither.
Nice little teaser there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Secrets are no fun.
Secrets hurt someone.
Lots of people until they find it out and then they're excited. So yeah, like I would love to edit, dude. Like I fucking love making worlds and stories and emotions and editing. But then that takes me away from actually making money so I can feed my fucking cats. So I would love to do it, but what I really want is I want the conversation, and I want to share it with the world, and then I want to have the next conversation. I don't want to be like who is the guy from Dumb and Dumber, the not as funny one, Jeff
Bridges.
Is it Jeff Bridges? No, I thought Jeff Bridges was the other one. Jeff Daniels. So I went to the Chicago Film Festival years ago. And it was a movie that he directed, he starred in, called like Rug Suckers from Outer Space, something like that. And people are asking him questions about Dumb and Dumber, and he's like, I don't want to answer any of those because I'm a real filmmaker. I'm a real artist. Like he was like really pompous, and I just felt my eyes rolling heavier and heavier. And one of the last things he said that really kind of grokked my attention was, we've been touring with this movie for 4 years. And I thought, what the hell are you doing touring with a movie for 4 years?
You're not making movies anymore.
Wouldn't the part of you as an artist die?
Yeah.
The movie's done.
Yeah.
Like, I would imagine if we were to make a movie going around for maybe a month, and then that itch in you is like, let me make something else.
Because when you see it, or I know, like, for even like buildings you design, films that you make, all you do is see all the things that you would love to do differently.
All the problems.
Yeah, you only see the problems.
Yep.
And it's awful. I wish that would go away.
I can't imagine doing that for years.
You'll never enjoy it.
No. No.
That's what, like that sounds like something that you'd have like an old vaudeville act. It's like, well, I polished this one off. I'm to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and that sounds miserable to me.
It does sound miserable.
And I always think like that's how like musicians have to feel. It's like, oh, play that one song that we know from you. Yeah. And that shit gets old. I get that. So I don't want to like live in that edit for too long. I just want to have the conversation about awesome things and meet awesome people, because I think everyone is awesome when you tell their story. Even the most mundane people, I guarantee there's something awesome.
That would be for a good podcast. Trying to make a mundane story.
Dude, that was. Did you ever listen to the podcast Behind Every Story? It was basically me just asking random ass people questions, and they would tell.
Yeah, but the way that you
awesome
put it together,
stories.
though, it's interesting.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, like, have you ever talked to a truly boring person?
Yeah. Today, John, how did I forget about this story? I want to tell you a story.
I want to hear a story.
I want you to come sit by the fire. It is not that big of a story.
It's crackling and it's warm.
I
can feel the heat of the fire.
I am hyping this up far too much. I am sorry.
Oh man, this is gonna be great.
It's not.
Oh, I can feel the heat on my toes. I'm gonna take my socks off so I can feel it better.
So there I was.
Oh, let's hear it.
Waiting for a meeting to start at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. It's very exotic.
It's really boring already.
So me and my business partner are sitting at Starbucks waiting for a meeting to start. We have like 20 minutes left before our client shows up, and we're going to pitch them our idea.
At a Starbucks?
Which, that was the client's choice. She wanted coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was either that or her place of business, and she didn't want to be there.
I'd put somebody on their toes and be like, we're going to do this at this row of porta potties at this construction site by my house.
And yeah. So let's
go.
We're trying to.
If you can't make it sound good there, it ain't going to sound good anyway.
Yeah, I know. I think it would be better in an environment where they have coffee. Yeah, and porta potties, John. Obviously, duh. So we're sitting there. I have, for this whole process, working with this client, we are filming everything. We are filming the first meeting we had. We're filming when we come back to this room, sit around this table, and come up with ideas. You know, we're filming the whole process. And then we filmed the pitch today, and we're going to film when we shoot it. We're going to film when we show it. We're going to film the whole thing, and then create this whole 3 to 5 minute thing from all this footage. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to pitch to like every client from here on out. Be like, we're not just making you a video. Literally, this is what we're doing. This is a whole journey, and we're creating for you. You know, it's not just we show up, make a video. It's like we take a lot of shit into consideration. By the way, the pitch went well.
Good.
We got it.
Good.
But I'm sitting there. My camera's sitting out. This dude, like 2 tables over, is staring at it like you would stare at a little kid's bag on Halloween night, knowing
how much candy's in
that's
bag.
Right.
I bet I could get more candy
by taking that bag. So he's just staring at, and I'm not looking at him. Okay, but you can obviously.
Is he giving you the ask me a question face?
Kinda, but he's not looking at me. He's looking at the camera. So my very first thought is, dude's gonna fucking steal my camera. So I just like edge a little closer to the camera. I put my hand near it just in case I see someone run over. I can quickly grab it. Mm-hmm. And he comes over and sits next to us.
What's this gentleman look like?
I would say...
Give me an age.
I would say early 50s.
Okay.
Beanie cap.
All right.
On a day when it's 92 degrees outside.
Interesting.
Holding a guitar.
Ooh.
As one does at Starbucks.
They want you to record them.
And a sweater, yada, yada. And he comes and sits next to me. And
You mean his next big break?
Well, that was not the case.
Are you ready to be famous today?
Are you ready to make me famous today?
Yep.
So he comes over, sits next to me, and I say, well, excuse me, sir. That's for our client. We're going to be giving a presentation here in a minute. He goes, oh, okay. what kind of camera is that? And I go, oh, God. It's a Sony. Then he cuts me off. He says, I have a Nikon D7, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool. Yeah, those mirrorlesses aren't as good as the ones I have. Does it shoot ProRes? And I'm like, no, but you can get it now. But my phone shoots ProRes. Apple 14, they made it. I'm not kidding, John. The conversation keeps going like this for five minutes. He asks me a question or points something or says, like, what do you do? And then immediately cuts me off and tells me how awesome he is.
Interesting.
Excuse me.
I wonder if there's a reason why this guy has nobody else to talk to.
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. Then he continues to tell me that the gear in his basement is worth more than his house. $2.98 million. But I don't tell anyone that. My neighbors don't know what I do. I have a whole studio in my basement.
But me, a total stranger,
But me, a total stranger. I was like, where do you live? He's like, oh, well, 1943 Kettaman Way. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, that's nice to know. We're friends now.
See you tonight with my giant spider.
Oh, that could be taking so many bad ways.
I know.
And he just keeps talking. He just keeps telling me stuff. So like literally after two minutes of like realizing, oh my God, this guy's a fucking nut job. I am not going to engage this anymore. Instead, I'm going to try to antagonize him so he will please leave.
I love doing this.
So
this is what I'm gonna do when I'm done with all my exams. Egg people on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I did.
You're feeding the trolls.
I was feeding the troll.
All right.
And he was like, "Yeah, you know, like what do you got? What is that? Is that an Android phone?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a big fan of Android." Oh, and he goes, "Well, you know, the iPhone's better." Like, cool. And that's pretty much when I checked out there. And then I have a MacBook that I was going to show. He's like, "Oh, that's a real old MacBook you got there." I was like, "Actually," he goes, "Oh no, that's the new one. They're not as good as the old ones." And I just start saying, "I hate Macs. I have all my porn on this one, and I just take it around with me everywhere I go, just so it'll stay close to me." And he's like, "Yeah, I got the last." Didn't even fucking hear me. And he just starts telling me all about how great his MacBook is, and
It's like, where's this conversation going?
I had no idea. Like that was like I was baffled. I kept saying like, "Oh, Macs they catch on fire and they kill babies," and he's like, "Yeah, the i7 was better than the M2," and I'm like, "Cool." And then eventually he just got up and left.
I think,
but
you should
John,
just not go to Starbucks.
He didn't leave.
He stayed there.
He stayed to the chair next to us.
There was like a longing look, and he looked at their
John,
stuff.
The entire time we were pitching the client, he was staring at us.
No, he wasn't talking up. Well, you were talking to the client, were you?
He didn't say a fucking word. I would have, like, that's different. Coming up to me when I'm sitting there alone, not doing anything, yeah, whatever, you're weirdo. If you fuck with my business, though.
And you also don't want to look like an asshole in front of your client.
No, but that's when you get up and say, "Excuse me, sir, I'm in the middle of something. Can you please go sit over there?" And if he riles it up, my client sees that, then we go next door.
Well, maybe your client shouldn't.
Client was fucking cool, by the way. Really cool.
I don't know. Do you really want to meet at Starbucks?
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Starbucks?
Yeah. They actually engage customers to do this. They actually like want you to come in and have your meetings there.
Serious?
Yeah, that's like why it's designed the way it's designed. Right. I listened to a few chapters of a book about marketing, about why Starbucks is so popular, is because you don't need to buy anything to go inside. You can just come and chill and hang out. Like it's part of their like business branding. So
so how do they make money then if they don't want anybody to buy anything?
Because they charge $8 for a fucking coffee, John. That's not very good. I like it, but it's not very good. It's literally sugar in brown water. It tastes just like it sounds. Delicious.
I do like brown water.
I know.
All kinds.
And if I'm going to pitch an idea, we're going to do it in a row of brown water.
Told you.
Did I ever tell you my idea for a porta potty commercial series?
I think you have, but I want you to enlighten me again.
Okay. So I love commercials that make you second guess what the hell you're looking at. I like the commercials like Tim and Eric. Think like the old Old Spice commercials where Terry Crews flexes his muscle and a little arm comes out from his muscle and flexes that muscle and makes you go, yeah, I get you.
I know what you're selling.
Or like when Burger King wakes up in the middle of the night in your bed.
Staring at you lovingly.
Yeah, right. Like I love those commercials. I love them. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to do a string of 3 commercials about a porta potty. And the first one, it's just a shot of the porta potty. The camera never moves. And all you hear is like a home construction site. Like you hear some sawing, you hear some hammering, then you hear, whoop! And then you just see this guy run into frame, jump inside the porta potty, and then the text comes up, says, "We're there when we're there when you need us." And I was like, hits home. Then there's a part 2. Part 2 is at a fair or something, like out and about in the world, because you got to show porta potties in different stages of its life. So you're at a fair. And a guy's waiting in line, right? And he's waiting in line. And then the door opens, and then the same guy walks out, and they look at each other. Like they're like identical clones. And the guy kind of like shakes it off and goes inside because he has to take a giant growler. And the door closes, and he's like, "We're there for you, even when things get weird." And then the third one, I haven't come up with a solid idea, but the third one was going to make it like feel like everything in the world was wrong. I wanted people to like question the way they viewed life. I wanted people upset. So I haven't come up with it yet, and I just like I haven't gotten it. But I do have.
Do you have the call line of what you want it to be?
No. So let's workshop it right now. So we're there for you, even when things get weird. You got to add onto it. Like, what's the next one?
Just it'll be, for the love of God, we're here.
Or are we?
Or else.
And then it's 18 minutes of someone just staring at you.
Or no, it could just be, you're never gonna leave here. It's got a turn where like, it's like, come inside. It's okay.
Oh, soft.
We'll take care of you. You'll be okay here. Because you're never going to leave here.
And legitimately, all the music shuts off, and just one light inside the porta potty, and this dude for like 20 minutes of commercial time is just trying to open a door that won't open. Wait, it'll open. Oh, wait, God damn, wait. One of these days.
It's the thing rattling. And then the whole time it's like it's a company that actually sells the maintenance of porta potties.
You like doors? I like doors. Come on, these doors don't go nowhere.
Come on down to the John door closer. We got springs. We got the best springs. We put them on the doors, and then it won't open. They won't
porta potty doors.
They'll close so good.
I like that. I want to go like real existential weird with it, but I haven't found the right client for that one yet. I did come up. So I've been dying to make this one thing. I literally thought about this when you and I were in college, and I thought it was like the funniest thing before I ever wanted to do like commercial stuff. But I've never been able to find like a manly enough brand to do it for. And like literally I will do it just for fun. I will happily do it just for fun. Again, one shot, no camera movement. It's 3 urinals in a row, or even better, 5 urinals in a row.
Odd
right?
numbers are good.
Okay. So this little guy runs in, Gets to the very last one. Okay, he runs all the way across the screen, goes to the last one. He's like, and then you see this guy walk in, stands next to him at number 4. And the little guy's like shaking his butt, trying to shake the last one off. And dude puts his fists on his hips and twists his hips counterclockwise. And then whips his dick as hard as he can against the side of the porcelain. And it just explodes the porcelain. And the next 3 urinals are just destroyed. And he like drips it off and then he walks out. Never touching his own dick. He's just like his fists on the hips the whole time. He's like, whoop, zip, and walks out. But I want it to be like your brand, like your tools are so tough. We're tougher than the other guy. Something silly like that.
You don't really see commercials for urinal partitions.
Well, but I don't want it to be for urinal partition. I
yeah,
want
but that'd
like,
be a great one. Just if like everything destroys except for the one urinal
except for
partition.
the one. Yeah.
And we'll say Billy Bob's propanol urinal partitions were strong as. I don't know.
So the next one, same guys. This time it's 2 stalls. Okay, 2 shitters. Little guy comes in, slams the door. And then guy walks in with his hand on his hips. Goes inside. You just see pants hit the floor underneath as the shoes are on the ground. And then his
Lots of keys.
And then his shoes leave the ground. And then you see his head pop up over the top of the stall because he's shitting so much. And then the brand name. Billy Bob's Hockey Pucks.
It's just more than the other guy.
So yeah, that's what I would do. Please give me money, guys.
Just more than the other guy, I think. More than the other guy.
More than the beep. I love swearing and beeping it.
Beeping it.
You told me that years ago, and I didn't believe you.
Way
It took
funnier.
it took so long for me to get it. I think that's the funniest shit ever.
It wasn't until when I was living in Germany and they had the Osbournes on. I heard everything. So you just hear him talk and everything. When I came back to America and I heard him talking and they bleeped everything, that shit is hilarious.
Speaking of which, I still have footage of a video that you and I started to make.
Interesting.
Where we had 20 people come to my house. We sat down and interviewed them.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going to make a behind the music hour-long
Here
special.
I am. Rock me like a candy cane.
That's still one of my favorite videos we've ever edited. That was so much
Thank
fun.
you, Chicago. Yeah, I remember that.
But I still want to make the whole thing. I mean, I would reshoot it.
It was supposed to be a behind the music.
Yeah. The goal, you and I had plans to go shoot. Like, we were taking their answers and then kind of like scripting weird things from them. And
it got weird and the
some people took it the wrong way and
Yes.
got upset. And, yeah. Now let's make Black Magic Cop.
Yeah. We can make Black Magic Cop when I'm done.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, when I'm done.
Hurry the fuck up! I want to make a movie.
Just give me the second. No, you're gonna be on the one monkey on my back, and my wife is gonna be the other.
What's
one way to get it done.
what's the Spanish word for study?
El studio.
Dibujar. Dibujar.
That means draw.
Yeah, I'm aware, fucker. So what do you got to do? What's the game plan for this? Because
First, I'm gonna study, right?
okay, I'm listening. I'm
Then
there.
I'm gonna take the test.
Oh shit.
Hopefully, I pass.
All right. So I see a future of motivational speaker in your future.
I have practice management. You have to learn how to run a business.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, that's the first exam. Second exam is project management. You have
Okay.
to be essentially how to be a project manager.
Yeah.
The thing that's funny is with those two things, they don't teach them in school, and you don't really learn how to do any of those things until you've been in the business for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's weird that those are the exams that you want. Those are 2 of the 6 exams you have to take.
Well, so those don't sound like quantifying. I'm using the wrong word here. Those sound like very subjectable answers.
They're not. There's things you definitively have to do.
Like what?
I don't know. Ask me a question from the exam.
Oh. Well, I mean, like running a business is very subjectable.
Well, I mean, it's like, it'd be like utilization rates and like questions about insurance.
I hire someone for that.
Yeah. Well, I have to know how to do all of it.
By hiring someone for it. Just write that in. Every
Just
answer.
hire them, somebody
Just
else.
hire someone
Or
who
you
can do it better than you.
Well, what if you can't?
Can't what?
What if you can't afford to hire somebody else and you have to do it yourself?
Oh, well, maybe you should be doing something else then.
Or you got to take an exam. If you had an exam on how to do your stuff, then you'd be able to do it.
Or
Actually, I do have a book
okay,
that is about literally on how to run a business. It's a huge fucking book.
Clifford's Big Red Book. Yeah.
Clifford's Big Red Book. In this
On
case,
business.
it's gray.
Oh,
And it's
way
literally-
more boring.
And it's a whole thing on practice management.
Okay.
It's a huge book. I mean, you could apply it to really any job. It'd be a great book for anybody who wants to run a business, because it's literally the absolute weird nitty gritty of all the little weird minute shit that you'd never have to think of.
Does it involve like business theory and shit like that?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. I really respect people who can deal with theory and make it applicable to different avenues.
It's weird when you have to take exams on this stuff though, because it's
Yep.
like these common things are like, well, I do that. Well, some guy 60 years ago named that, but now I have to remember that name.
Yeah.
That's always frustrating.
That's very frustrating because, I mean, the shit that I realized when I got out of college is that remembering the names and dates of shit is not as important as the implications that those things created.
It makes you sound smarter.
Yes, it does, but there's a big difference between sounding smart and being smart.
And if you know the dates of things, it helps you know bigger picture things. If you want to tie it to world events.
I see your point. However,
Which knowing the big picture is like really the big story of anything. To know one art movement.
says the
to
fucking
know.
architect.
Knowing
That's-
one art movement is
Isn't that like the basis of your fucking profession right there?
knowing everything.
Knowing the big story.
You have to know the big story,
Everything has to have a plan, a reason.
or it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with that. I actually, do you know what are these patches called? Like, they're military patches where, like, they put on the Velcro, and it's just like, there's a Velcro thing on, like,
Those-
like a vest or something.
They didn't have those when I was
There's
up.
actually a word for it. They're like
Yeah.
motivational or motivating patches. And anyway, so I bought a bunch of them for when I work, because I have a little fanny pack and I have a little Velcro thing on it, and I have a bunch of different ones. Like, one says, "After this, we're getting tacos." Another one says, "I would lose weight, but I hate losing."
I like that one.
And then one of them, fuck, I totally forgot what I was just saying. Yeah, because the thing beeped. That's cutting up the audio file into 2 different files. Oh fuck, I forgot what it was. Oh,
Motivating patches.
Yeah, it says, "Hold on, let me overthink this."
Oh, I love that one too.
And when I shoot with my crew, they look at that and roll their eyes. They're like, "Yeah, that's very, very you." Because I'm always like, okay, if we put a light over here, it does this. If we put a light over here, it does this. If we move the camera over here, this is what it's going to look like and how it's going to feel. And then, my business partner Hilda will be like, "Shut the fuck up and just go do it." I'm like, okay. But like, I overthink fucking everything.
People don't want to hear it either.
Oh God, no. But if I don't say
like
it out loud, it doesn't register in my brain.
You're the professional. You should just make the decision.
Yeah. No, that's true. But I never do that for a client. I would never talk like that. I talk about that with my crew.
You're doing it to benefit them.
No, I'm doing it to work it out. Because if I think about it in my head, like where that light needs to go and make it look over here, as soon as I say, if I put the light over here, I'm thinking about the next 2 places it could be, and then it gets jumbled in my head and I can't understand it. So if I slow it down by actually speaking it out, it forces me to go, it will look like this. I don't like that. If I go over here, no, that's not going to work either. So if I see it in my head, it's fine. It'll all be fine. But if I say it out loud, it literally slows me down.
That makes an incredible amount of sense as long as everybody else knows that's what you're doing.
It took a while. Yeah.
If other people hear that, like, I wonder how would I take that?
It's like
Are you talking at me? Or are you asking my opinion?
What was that? Was it Robin Williams who was saying that the people in New York, like New York is the only place on the planet that you can walk by just absolute drop dead beauty immediately next to, I'm gonna fucking kill him. I'm gonna take a knife and I'm gonna fucking kill the chicken. Like just weird other ends of society. And he said, you know, like when people have magic powers in TV shows and movies and they're like, I can see your future. I'm a precog and I understand. He goes, that's not what it would be like. It's literally the guy in downtown New York who's like, I can't. He's actually talking to God. And he's saying like, you are the next prophet. I can't. I got too much stuff to do. I can't be that person. You are the next Jesus. I can't. So yeah.
There's like the second coming's been like trying to happen for a really long time. We just okay. Everybody's too goddamn busy in New York.
What's the quote from Community? But TV's gotten really good.
It's true. Like the whole thing with the strike, there's so much content right now. Like we could go on this strike and I'd be fine. Like it's almost a nice break. Like they should go on the strikes more often.
For other reasons, but yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
If they went on strikes more often, it gives me more time to actually watch
to actually catch up on shit.
Which makes me wonder, like, why do Americans suck so bad at strikes? We used to be so good at it. Matter of fact, 100 years ago, like all the like stuff that we have, right? Like there used to be these awful working conditions that would like murder people.
Yeah.
Or their children would be put to work, or they get paid pennies,
or
they'd never get a day off.
Or there'd be Irish people.
Or Irish people. And all these awful things would happen, and they literally had to, like, fight people in the streets for all these rights, and now it's just all fucking gone. It doesn't even matter, and now people are just saying, I don't want unions, they're lazy. And it's like, well...
Yeah, that shocks me.
Unions are not bad. You know, I think people in France, those motherfuckers know how, like the general strikes that those people go on. They just burn the country down until they get what they want. Like people want to call them a bunch of cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Those dudes know how to strike and they get what they want. There's a reason why people in Europe get like 3 months off of work and live happier lives. Very unstressed.
Yeah. Oh my God.
They just enjoy life.
When we were just in Europe, I didn't see anyone there who was stressed. Anyone.
Dude, like, okay, so if the world were Brookfield Zoo circa 1980, right?
Hold on, let me soak this moment in. Okay, hit me.
We would definitely, America is the big baboon pit where you just watch people fucking fight and throw shit in the middle.
And smells awful.
And like people will just throw things at them and it smelled awful.
Yeah.
And you know, it was a very popular place to go, and everybody wanted to check it out.
Everyone wanted to check
it out. But nobody in their right mind would go down into there.
And no one stayed.
And nobody stayed. All right, well, now we're going to look at the elephants.
Well,
which is kind of, you know, us too, but...
Yeah, but they're built that way. There's a difference. And the reason I think we are so anti-stand up for ourselves, what's the best word for this? Lax? Pushovers, I think.
Doormats.
Yeah, doormats is a great term. Is because we're fucking fed. We are fed fructose. We are fed sugar. We are fed saccharin. And it's not just the sugar, but it is the ability to have anything and have it shoved down our face, which just makes us fucking apathetic. Because I want my another hamburger.
When we started this podcast a while ago and we were doing our show and tells.
Yeah.
I told you there was the gentleman that the CIA paid to figure out what like different cultures bubbles are.
Yes.
And one of the things that he was using as an idea of, not just for humans but other animals, and they're trying to figure out, like, how do you? Somebody was trying to figure out, how do I have to collect all these mice to ensure that they have to stay alive, and they have to stay alive long enough that I can test on them, so I can complete my research. And so there's people who had to figure out, like, how do we do that? And they ended up finding out, if you feed mice or rats high-fat diets and they can't see each other, you could stack it to the ceiling.
I remember you saying this.
And
now.
they would be totally fine.
Yeah.
But the moment that they can see each other and they're not fed enough, then you have a population sink.
Yeah, population sink. I remember you saying
and
this.
And they'll literally start eating their young and kill each other. They'll stop having sex. They'll stop eating, except for a handful of a few, or what they refer to as the beautiful ones.
So you and me.
This is a real thing. There would be just a handful. The entire thing would be completely bedlam, except for a handful of the mice or the rats who would be living a life of luxury. Then if they were fine, while everybody else killed each other
because they were so inundated with nothing.
I don't know why.
They were fed fucking fat.
Everybody was fed fat, but everybody else would just freak out. But there'd be ones that would be totally fine. And they, in this study, they referred to them as the beautiful ones.
And they referred to them as the politicians, as the celebrity,
I don't know. I don't know.
But the beautiful ones is the best fucking terminology for that, which screams Marilyn Manson's song, "Beautiful People."
Well, I mean, are you amorphizing these animals? I mean, they're not humans, but they're not.
Essentially,
physiologically, they're mammals,
right?
So, like, there are physiological similarities, but as far as like what is going on in the mind of a mouse or a rat, we really can't tell.
True.
So I don't know if it's
an algebra.
Like, are they politicians? Are they sociopaths? Are they?
That's one and the same.
Sociopaths? Are they? I mean, you can't say that. I mean, it's a complete generalization.
It is a generalization.
There are people who would like to be in the politics, but it's hard to get up really, really high and actually remain good.
Yeah,
and it's because of money.
Well,
and it'll
absolute
never go
power
away unless
corrupts.
we get rid of like Citizens United or something like that.
I mean, there's a lot of things I think we need to do. I think term limits are something that is
big time. And the thing is like that's something that both Democrats and Republican constituents would love. But those people in power, I mean, dude, did you see?
Yep,
when he stroked out. McConnell when he stroked out,
I loved it. I loved it.
Literally, Myrtle the turtle, like literally stroked out live on air. They just shuffled him away.
You sent it to me, like you said, "Oh my God, he stroked out," and I had to find.
And
the
nothing
video
happens. And it's just
and nothing fucking happened.
And that guy, like, people want to talk about Donald Trump. Like, Mitch McConnell has been running the Republican Party.
Yes,
for the longest running person. Running the Senate in U.S. history.
Okay, that dude is evil. That dude is legitimately fucking evil.
The reason why...
That dude is opening the gate.
The reason why there was so many... There should have been more liberal Supreme Court justices, but he just blocked it and there's nothing they could do about it.
Yeah.
He flat out just said, well, when Obama tried to replace... there was the one Supreme Court justice who literally died while taking a bribe. Scalia.
Oh,
Anthony Scalia.
Anthony Scalia. Yeah,
he was literally like some guy's resort that was, paying a bribe, and he died at the resort at the place where they actually had a. There was supposed to be like some sort of like case on it. I mean, I thought that what a perfect way for a piece of shit to die, but yeah. And then when they tried to replace him, he just refused and just said, "Well, for moving forward, if we're within 12 months of an election, we're going to let the American people choose."
Yeah, what the fuck?
And they didn't let. Then they
didn't let it.
And then Trump got elected, and he picked somebody, and then Ruth Bader Ginsburg died within a year of elections.
And they overturned that.
And he overturned it.
And he just said, "Nope, I'm taking." I hate that shit. That double-faced bullshit. Yeah. And I hate the double-faced bullshit from either side. I am not saying that's a Republican thing. I'm saying anyone who does that that's fucking scummy.
Well, I let me just throw it out there. As much as I would like to be a centrist, right now they're not both the same.
No,
they're not.
it is not. The right is so goddamn off its hinges. It's
They are
not fun.
so insane right
Yes.
now. It's like it worries me.
Yeah.
There's people who are being killed because there are like really super far right
Yeah.
like MAGA people who
Yeah.
like, there's people who have like driven into driveways and they would just shoot them because
Yeah.
they thought things.
Yeah.
There's a guy who he shot his neighbor while he was like grilling with his family because he thought he looked like a Democrat.
What?
Yeah, like, dude, there is like so many weird, but they'll like go up and down and say on how liberals are like eating kids and trying to steal their adrenochrome. And
I told you I had a dinner with one of those
like
people.
all of this shit happens. And it's like, that's not like there's no proof.
There's nothing.
You literally, if you search long enough, you're going to get whatever answer you want.
Yes.
But, like,
because it's called 4chan or 8chan, whatever the fuck.
Like,
it is.
why is it that, if like they don't want to believe in college whatsoever, but like college is an institution, and there's supposed to be some sort of rigor to, know the English language, know how to actually conduct research.
Yeah, right.
Know how to do all these things. And there's
A process.
There's a process, and you have to be good enough to get your degree in that. And then you get to start at the bottom floor of something to learn on how to be a journalist. But, like they don't want journalists. They just want people that are going to,
Echo chambers.
they want to listen to their echo chambers.
Right,
And
right.
it's getting incredibly. I saw something on, it was another thing about Behind the Bastards. Man, did I talk about this before?
You did. Yeah.
Where they talked about he was another guy he was another up and coming guy around the same time as Hitler. He was like another mouthpiece. He was the exact same thing because Hitler was just like the spokesperson for the Nazi party, but there was a lot of parties at the time. And this guy, they called him just the other Hitler.
Really?
But he was, because there was lots of guys that were super uber authoritarian right wing fucking nut jobs that were just trying to scoop up power, and he was just another one of the guys.
Okay.
And the on Behind the Bastards, they were talking about how, and this was crazy, at the time of the rise of fascism in Germany had more. They had more newspapers than anywhere else in America. They had so many newspapers. Probably had something to do with the Gutenberg Press or something like that. But
No, that makes sense.
when they had, if you have all of these, like there's something weird about the human mind possibly that if you start having all of these human voices and everybody's listening to all these things, if you let the rats, be able to see what's going on in the other cages and they're not getting their high fat diet, something makes the crazy go off in their minds. And I think, after World War I, Germany had all of these presses just printing whatever they could and just lie whatever and blame, their fault, they.
Which
And it
is
was very
proven time and time again to be
very incredibly tribalistic. Is very similar to now.
Yes.
To where we had this, there's like the 06, 08 financial crisis that rolled in the 2012 crisis, that rolled in like just all of these things, and businesses are crumbling, and people just want to hear they, and there's people that are just willing to, say, I know who the boogeyman is, it's them. And yeah, there's something about the mind of a mouse. I don't know if it's a mammal thing. I don't really know what I don't know what it would be. There is some studies that say there's a buildup of ganglia in the way that the brain was developing around the time when mammals were kind of going online, and that mammals were often, or it couldn't even be mammals, it could be even like proto mammals and stuff like that, that when they had diverse food sources, some mammals or some animals ate just plants, and some animals were all herbivores, some were carnivores. It was the omnivores were the ones that kind of had this weird dichotomy where they could eat anything. And this where I was talking about with the ganglia in the head in their brains was they called it the omnivore's dilemma.
Okay.
The omnivore's dilemma was we're related to all the animals who ate the same thing all the time, didn't want change, and would be grossed out by eating anything else other than the stuff that they felt safe and protected to eat. We're related to them, right? But we're also related to the other animals that had to go out and eat new things and try new things because the other animals, like if that food source dried up, they didn't have anything else to eat, and we're related to the ones that would try new things.
Right.
So now we have this thing built up in us where there's people who are more likely to want the same things, and we have the people that are more likely to be okay with new things. And that's kind of how we get these weird dichotomies. We, when you see it on these large sociological scales of the, people who are like traditionalists or people who are conservative, people who are more liberal, like that's kind of how you're seeing it like blowing up to this big, massive scale. And, again, like if you have the ones that the food is becoming scarce and they're starting to get worried and they don't want new things, their brain goes fucking crazy. Again, back to the mice. If they're not getting their high-fat diet, and if they can see what's going on in the other cages, they freak out. And then maybe that's why it's this like consistent thing where, and again, to go back to previous conversations we had, maybe the idea of the Antichrist wasn't one person, but something that the people over thousands of years saw would happen over and over again, of like this liar that will rise among the ranks. Because they did say, like, in the Antichrist was he would he's going to fool everybody except for the people who actually know what's going on. Maybe the Antichrist is a reoccurring character that's just built into our monkey brains.
Do you think it's a character or a situation?
I think both. I think under certain conditions, things can be very conducive to have somebody like that rise up.
Basically, like the poster boy for the scenario.
Well, no, not the poster boy for scenario. Like here, like when they talk about Trump, Trump isn't the problem. He's like he's the fruit that's been bore. That's what I mean. It's like we can hate on Trump all we want, but let's look at the bigger fucking picture here. And the bigger picture is that like all that rot's been going on for decades and nobody knew.
Yeah. And it's finally festering.
Yeah, it's bearing fruit.
And now it's bearing a new type of fruit, which is beyond poisonous.
You're getting your Trumps, you're getting your DeSantis. All these people, like, they're willing to.
I'm not like
to lie.
They're horrible people. I'm not so scared of them. I'm scared of the people who follow them
blindly.
I'm scared of the mold growing underneath that fruit.
Yeah,
that's terrifying to me.
And maybe it's that is part of the omnivore's dilemma. Like they're related. They have more of that DNA that is more consistent with I'm only going to eat these things. But you got to have both. I mean, for humans didn't exist unless you had both of those. Well, like it was this give and take thing. Like there was a lot of people. There was a lot of monkey ancestors that died because they refused to eat new things. But there was a lot of monkey ancestors that died because they ate something new.
Correct.
So I mean, being a centrist is not the worst.
No,
but it's
not.
Being on the fringes of I refuse to do anything but eat anything new, or I'm gonna eat that fucking red, super red thing that looks wiggly. That is obviously gonna kill me.
Yeah. But right.
But I'm definitely gonna eat it. Lobsters worked out in our favor, thank God.